Hey, good morning. Let's talk about the myth of Southern hospitality and how it has its roots in racism. Now, we all know that some parts of the South maintained slavery from the 1600s up until the 1960s and 70s. And in some parts of Mississippi, segregation was still practiced up until the 1980s and 90s. So how did an area of the country known for its brutality against black people become known for its hospitality? That's an easy one. Southern hospitality was used to show solidarity between whites in the North and South. If you lived in the North headed South, you were either visiting family or conducting business. And while there, you were able to live as the upper crust, the aristocracy, if you will. The food was great, you were waited on hand and foot, you didn't have to lift a finger for anything. And you were able to live that way because of the labor of enslaved Africans. You see, the Confederacy is the only nation on the face of the earth whose bedrock was chattel slavery. Okay, let's talk about the racist origins of sweet tea. So, how is sweet tea racist? 2 words: sugar and white people. I'm not going to be able to do this in one part. Okay, part 1. When did tea become racist? When Great Britain got involved. You see, they wanted tea from China, but didn't want to pay the Chinese what their tea was worth. China already had a strict setup for their goods and services, and would only accept payment in silver, and Great Britain was like, we're not going to do that. So China was like, we're not doing business with you. So Great Britain got mad, sent spies to China to figure out how to grow tea. Then they colonized India so they can grow tea there using the secrets they stole from the Chinese, which led to the Opium Wars. Let me know if you want a video on that. Here's where it became racist. Great Britain started a smear campaign against Chinese tea to promote their pure Indian tea. Crazy, right? Okay, part 2. During the 1600s, tea became fashionable in Great Britain. After stealing tea from China and forcing India to grow it, they created the British East India Trading Company. Let me know if you want a video on that. It's wild. Now, as the British Empire's demand for tea grew, they also used their other colonies to grow tea. And what place outside of China and India had the best soil and climate for growing tea? Kenya. In the 1930s, industrial tea production and tea plantations in Kenya really took off. And still today, the only place that grows more tea than Kenya are India and China. And that's how tea became racist. Well, how did sweet tea become racist? I'm so glad you asked. You see, the Brits liked their tea a little sweet. And where did they get the sugar from? Well, their colonies and plantations in the New World. Part 3. The racist origins of sugar. Beginning in the 1600s, every grain of sugar any European ever tasted was grown in the Caribbean. And who was growing this Caribbean sugar? Highly skilled and highly trained enslaved Africans. These highly trained farmers and civil engineers were taken from their homes in Africa, brought to the Caribbean to grow sugar for British people to put in their tea and desserts. Not wanting to be left out, plantation owners in the American South started growing their own tea and sugar as well. Matter of fact, in 1795, South Carolina became the first state to grow its own tea. Speaking of the American South, it's just too damn hot down here to drink hot tea all the time. So we did something different. We added ice to it. We called it iced tea. By the 1870s, it was everywhere.